Hi, welcome to Calfee.com again. Today I just got my one more product which I bought for my photography work, and that is a light meter. It's a Sekonic L558R. R means radio. That means it contains a radio trigger using which you can trigger the flashes and other stuff. There you go. I just got 558R is a discontinued product of Sekonic. By the way, Sekonic is the best in the world. It's a Japanese brand, and they make light meters, pretty much light meters, and these are the best industry standards. So you can blindly buy these products, Sekonic light meters. And L558R is a incident as well as a spot meter. That means like you can specifically measure the light which is hitting a specific spot. It has a I'll show that to you. I'm just opening the box. I just got it in the mail today. This is a discontinued product, as I mentioned. So I had to buy it from off of eBay. Why did I go for a discontinued product? Because the angle of incidence that can be measured is super accurate. It's 1 degree, whereas other light meters are 40 degrees. That means it takes a wide range of space. I want to measure exact location. When you are taking the pictures of landscape, you want to measure the brightest spot as well as the darkest spot. So if it should be ideally it should be as accurate as possible. So 1 degree seems to be the best case in this scenario. I just opened the box right now. I'm recording, and I bought it since I bought it off eBay. This guy packed it pretty well packed, and so this one. Okay, there you go. Bubble wrap and plastic carry bag, which is nice. And this is the brand I was talking about, TL Master L558. And this is the light meter. It comes with a pouch, which is a soft case. Here is the actual light meter. It looks pretty neat. I like it. This guy has kept it clean, as I can see. Okay, here is the light meter. Can you see it? I think so. So yeah, this is the for checking if the normally ideally you will take the light measure just under the chin of a person or in the direction of the object that you wanted to take a picture of. In addition to that, you can also see through this like this. There is a circle inside. I don't know whether you can see it. I doubt it. Yeah, you can see the just you can view through it, but you can see through it and then take a measure. The best reason why the most important reason why I went for this one is the averaging of light. You can store 9 values. Say you can measure here 9 times, and then take an average of the overall situation and arrive at the actual settings for the camera. And here is the knob which you can use to choose between here incident meter versus a spot meter. You can use this knob to change between that, and this is the luminoscope or whatever. You can bring it out by turning this dial. There is a knob under this, and it is retractable. Once it goes inside, it can be used as a flat incident meter, whereas if it goes out, you can use it right under the chin of person or right under next to the object where you want to really measure. Do I have the battery inside? The seller said there is a battery inside. Let me, oh yeah, there is a battery. It takes CR123. CR123. I hope you can see it clearly. And it takes only one battery, and it also has the radio module, which is used for yes, radio module. What it does is it helps you communicate. You can directly trigger the pocket wizards using this one if you are using a pocket wizard, but I don't use pocket wizards. I use Yongnuo radio triggers. These are way advanced than pocket wizards, but 1/3 of the price. I got a set of Yongnuo triggers. I will review it separately in a separate episode. Once you get two transceivers with one transmitter, that whole thing cost me like $120, the whole set. And that is, I got it as a deal at that time because the guy who bought it, who was selling on eBay, he could not figure out how to make it work. So it was his loss on my gain. So I got it super cheap. And this I will not be able to trigger that because those are 2.4 gigahertz triggers. 2.4 gigahertz are way ahead of the pocket wizard triggers, because pocket wizard triggers use around 300 to 400 megahertz signals, whereas the 2.4 gigahertz, as you can see, it's way ahead of, almost 10 times faster, 10 times higher frequency. In fact, I tested it. It actually works through the wall, so you can trigger a flash behind the wall. So it is way ahead of it, and it is full ITTL compatible with Nikon camera system. So there is absolutely it's not a compromise at all. It's way ahead of pocket wizards. So how do I measure? How do I trigger the flashes using this one? I cannot. So there is a method where you can keep it under the chin of the person, or where you want to measure, or right next to the person, and use the transmitter of the Yongnuo triggers, radio triggers. Use it to manually just press the trigger test button, and it will you can measure the flash exposure, how much you want to set up, and all that stuff. So that's not too difficult. And let me go on and power on the, there you go. And here there are so many modes available. Those modes I won't be really going into the detail of that. There is a jog dial here which you can change the mode of it. For example, there is a mode button. You hold it down, you can I don't know whether you can see it. Mode, let me figure it out. Oh yeah, here. Hold down the mode button and then you turn the jog dial so that the ambient, now it's the ambient measure. Next is flash exposure. Next is corded flash exposure. The last one is the radio flash trigger. The second one, the flash exposure, they call it as a wireless flash exposure. It's a long term. What it does is, when you turn it on and keep it ready, it will wait for the flash to go off for 90 seconds, so that you can measure, you can manually trigger the flashes and then take the correct exposure. So I mean, there are tricks involved. And there is this memory button on the side. So every time you take a exposure, when you are averaging, basically, you can, as I said, you can take 9 values and average them out. So instead of, if there are bright spots in one corner and dark spots in another corner, you measure one by one using the incident meter, using this one, and then take an average. So how do we do it? You don't do it manually, right? So you take one measure, press memory, and then take one more measure, press memory, of 9 values, you press the average button. It gives you the average value of the overall exposure. And again, there are two ISO 1 and ISO 2. ISO 1 is for one set of ISO. Like if you want to know the exposure set of values at ISO 800, you want to know, and what is the value of other exposure set when I am using, say, ISO 200. The reason for that is many cases, particularly in the events and all, if you have two cameras which are set at two different ISO levels, that is when this feature becomes handy. So you will be able to use it. And at the end, you can press the memory clear so that all the values go off. What else? I'm currently in an incident meter, and I turn this knob. You can hear the click sound, and that changes it to incident meter. I mean spot meter. So that is when I go here. Oh, the good part is there is a illuminated display inside, so you can actually see what is going on. So you don't have to wonder what is the value displayed here. You can directly see the illuminated value. I'm not sure whether this LCD itself is illuminated, but as per some photos which I have seen on the web, looks like this is illuminated. I don't know how it really works. And you can also mount it on a tripod. There is a tripod screw here, and this is for cable. There will be a cap. Looks like he missed it, so I don't see the cap here, so I'll have to check that. What other stuff? Yeah, this is the button which you use to take exposure value. So you just press it and it reads the value. Read the value. What else? Yeah, this itself can be turned to the side, and the turning is very handy when it comes to taking there is another feature here, delta EV. That means I have one light on this side, I have another light on this side. I want to know what exactly is the value exposures based on this light, and what is the value based on this light. So I turn this side, take one exposure, I take it on the other side, take another exposure. Usually you do it when the lumidisc, you would say a lumidisc here, which is retracted. Then you will get the more accurate values. What else? As per the manufacturer, they strongly recommend you keep an extra battery all the time. So that should be guidance or advice. And it comes with a long lanyard, or you can put it around your neck, so that the meter is very handy. I don't know how I'm going to use it, but I'm going to use it. I'm looking forward to using it quite much. I hope this review was useful. I covered pretty much almost all the features that I have learned so far. I watched YouTube videos. I actually downloaded the user manual, soft copy, and went through the user manual one read completely. And this one is a two-page quick guide. It's a two-page quick guide available on the Sekonic website. You can download it, and it's just 2 pages. You don't have to go through the whole user manual, and this seems really helpful. I would strongly recommend reading this one even before attempting to use the light meter. I think I covered almost all the features and whatever I have learned so far. I'm hoping that I'll make best use of this light meter. Though it's outdated, it's still way ahead of the game. It's very, very advanced. So I think that's about it. And thank you for watching. And again, this is from calfee.com. If you have any questions, in the comments, and you can I will be always happy to answer all your queries. Thanks so much. Bye bye.